Hi there, everyone. It's not a bad view of Tokyo, is it? Or Makio, Tokyo Tower in the distance. So you're probably wondering what's going on and why I'm sitting on the poker table by myself. So I'm gonna show you basically how you can basically win the majority of your poker games sitting goes. This doesn't really apply to cash games because people are idiots, basically, um, especially on this particular game. And uh, online poker is kind of different to real life poker because people play differently. They're not going to play the way that they should. And the match that you're going to see, I'll narrate over. There was one particular guy to my left. He was new. He's used to playing cash games, and there was a couple of times where you'll see that he was fishing, where most people would have folded because they don't do that because they risk being kicked out the game. So we'll get this underway, and basically I'll show you, talk to you how poker is. Most people say it's purely luck, and that isn't 100% accurate. You you don't play the cards necessarily. You play the people opposite you and around you, and the if you get to know the person that you're playing against, then regardless of what cards they draw and what cards you draw, you're going to beat them every time because you know how to defeat them. Regardless if it's a person in real life or on a simulation like this. I mean, granted, this is virtual reality. It's pretty close as we're going to get to being in real reality, unless we get fourth dimensional games and stuff like that. But you just gotta pick up on the social cues and the habits of people. And the normally I keep myself muted in the game. Like I have my mic muted. I may say hi, but normally I don't even like doing that because the more you talk, the more information you give to someone. I'm serious about this. I mean, listening to someone, not necessarily listening to what someone says, but listening to when they talk and when they don't talk tells you about their hand. It tells you how their mental state is. It tells you how they are, and you can have some great fun because you can tell that they're agitated. Like if you pull off a successful bluff, you refill the cards in front of them, and you just know they're pissed off. So next hand, they're gonna come in all aggressively and bet and stuff like that, and you can just laugh at them. So the next time you have a hand, they think you're bluffing. You get them to call, and you have a good hand, and you take more of their chips, and they get even more frustrated, and then they've defeated themselves. It's all about picking up on the clues. There was one particular guy that I told him next day. I said, "Hey, do you mind if I give you a tip?" He said, "No, go ahead." And I told him, I said, "Every time you have two pair, you always look to your left, to your friend on your left, and every time you had a three of a kind, you always looked at your hands twice before the first cards came out. That's how I knew what cards you had. That's how I was able to beat you the day before." It isn't really analyzing in someone, it's just paying attention, and don't rush in straight away. So, okay, that's enough of the intro. I'm going to go ahead and kick in the video. I'm going to talk over it and we'll get through it. Adios. Again. So I'm in the process of making a video, but I thought I could do a stream of the. I apologize because this seems to be a little bit more laggy than I remember it. So if you just watched my stream, you saw that I was playing a sit and go tournament, and I won, which was no surprise. And I'm gonna go through the field, and Cinema VR is a lot more laggy than it used to be. I wasn't used to this laggy. So I'm gonna go through with you live, and then I'll probably export this to video, uh, download it. I mean, and then put it together with the intro that I'm gonna make for it. But I thought for those, I did one kind of video like this before a long time ago when GameSpot still had videos. Let's see if I can find another. It didn't used to be that laggy. I'm gonna try this one real quick, and then if I'm gonna need. Sorry for that. 1 second. I'm just getting my Xbox controller because this. Okay, so here you go. Can we just use a void? All right, so here we go. I'm gonna go through the video that I just the stream that I just did, and I'm gonna pause it. I'm gonna pause it everywhere so often that I need to make a point. So wait, from the start, go. As you can see, I'm just playing music, relax, and ignoring everything else. Or so it seems. Like I'm paying attention to them, kind of. But basically, you keep yourself to yourself. The less you give away, the better. The more you, the more information you give someone is the more they have to use against you. All right, let's see if we can speed this up. All right, so the people are coming. So when I give the what I mean about that is the more you talk, more information you give, um, and of course people can twist that and use that to their advantage to try and put you off your game. So right there, he comes in, immediately says, "I've never played a tournament like this before." So what automatically goes through your head as soon as someone says that? Oh, he's new. I can probably he's going to be really easy to beat. He's never played this before. He's new. So why do you think he would say that to you and to a table of strangers that he's never said that met before? Maybe so you underestimate him, and maybe that he can use that. He thinks you'll play advantage to get away with it. So these two, given the benefit of the doubt and explain, well, like he's asking routine questions. Like he's trying to give off the image he's never played it before. Who knows? Maybe he never did. But everyone now thinks he's new to this, and now everyone's thinking about that now instead of their own game.
So me and my
suicide. If you wanna throw it in, we could set up.
me and my if I'm out, like you take me out, I can be in my chair and watch you guys play or no?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you can
absolutely.
watch it
You can do that.
afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah.
What makes it hard for me to believe in this game is that it is virtual reality and the computer plays on that player.
All right, so the first few rounds, like normally in online poker, there's always someone that normally goes in all on the first round. Maybe one or two or three people go in. It's unless you got a really good hand. I mean, and it's impossible to know at this point since there's no community cards. So unless you got pocket kings, pocket queens, or pocket aces, don't go all in. And it don't go chasing. Like if you have like a 9-8 and you want to go for a straight, okay, maybe see what the first three cards are, but don't chase because you wasted your time. You spend time waiting for people to come in, and going all in on and going out on the first hand. It's ridiculous. It's pointless.
I believe.
Call. Call. That's a call.
So what I normally do is no matter what cards I have, I normally fold straight away so I can watch everyone else.
Call.
It looks like I'm not playing or I'm not doing anything, but I am. I'm watching your hands. What am I watching? I'm watching how he bets.
Good hand.
So he shows me that he raises pre-flop,
That's
and
a
this
call.
is, you know how he said he was never played this before. He's played 480 hands, total 144 win percentage, 30%, biggest pot. That's the guy that said he never played these before. So it's possible he's never played sit and go before, but I really, really doubt it. I mean, I don't doubt that he's played cash games and only cash. He hasn't. He normally plays cash games, but he joined Boxing Day of last year. So I was looking up his record. So I was like, yeah, it could be his first sit and go, but not likely. So you know what? I decided I'm not going to trust him.
That's a call. Call. Player folds. The flop.
And I pulled.
Check. Player checks.
So
Check.
try to ignore what people say,
The turn.
but pay attention on when they say it.
Check.
Sometimes they say it.
Check. Bet.
So he made a noise there. So obviously he had a jack in his hand,
Call.
but he folded.
Player folds. Fold. The river. Player checks. Bet.
Because he sold the two kings.
Player folds.
Ace eight. I hit the eight.
Uh,
Well
I
done.
don't know what he had. Call or river.
Turn your hologram on. And be able to see it.
so no matter what, even though that's a good hand to go in on, like to place a bet, on the first few hands,
Call.
just fold.
You'll be able to see the
Call.
cards.
You've got a long game ahead.
To
You're going to play many rounds.
Fold.
There's no rush to go out straight away.
Player
Have that on.
folds.
Normally, the other players will do the work for you and get the other people out.
Call.
And don't be afraid just because they have a big stack, because this guy over here, he has, for the majority of the game, he has the big stack. But I know that I can get the chips off him, so I wasn't that worried.
Yep. I'm not
Because
worried.
he goes, he
My cigars. I'm
Really?
sorry.
That's
You
never
find good
happened to you?
sportsmanship.
like he raises before the flop,
Too? It ain't me.
and he constantly does that. So that tells me that he does that to protect what he thinks is not a mediocre hand.
Player checks. Checks. Check. Check. turn.
Oh, son of a.
So I had Jack 8, so I would have had 2 pair, but
Player bets.
he possibly has something now. So I'm just constantly, as you can see where I'm looking at, I'm just looking at their hands, how they bet, how they don't bet. I'm not looking at them, I'm not looking at everything else. I have the props muted except my own.
Fuck it. I go for river.
Call.
And that's a bad idea. You never go for the river.
And
You end up losing most of your money. He gets lucky, I think, on this one. I forget.
Check.
I had a king
Showdown.
deuce.
No,
King
One
deuce.
he bit him.
I had a king flipping deuce and I folded pre-flop because he.
See, he had a bad hand and he knew it, but he
played river too.
he knew that the other guy didn't.
I had a full house,
I had
man.
nothing.
Oh, you had an ace.
That's a call.
Yeah.
So 2-7, worst hand possible. Fold.
Fold. Fold. That's a call. Player is all in.
There's nothing wrong with going for the blinds. Like, he's just trying to collect the blinds so he doesn't.
Fold.
Perhaps I wouldn't have done it that early.
Fold.
Maybe he has a good pair. Nope. Ace 10. Not really a hand to go all in on, but it did it.
I had an ace king of the previous table, dude. Literally got beat from the very beginning.
Fold.
See, I'm not losing any money. I mean, I don't have to. I don't. I'm not on the big blind or the small blind yet. So I'm just taking the time to look and study the people I'm playing against.
Kill you.
Fold. Call.
Good raise.
She's a good player. I mean, she's. She bet strongly, so I know she had the hand. I know she has a good hand before that came out.
Check.
And again, I think she bets here.
Check.
No, checks.
Check. Bet. Call. Fold. Fold.
Ugh. Never mind. I think it's because she checked. He knew that. If you check after you bet, it's an advertising, basically telling everyone that you don't have a good hand.
The turn. Bet. That's a call. The river. Bet. Call. Showdown.
He checked twice,
Pair.
so he knew that he had nothing.
Very nice.
He was chasing the river.
You made it cheap
Blinds
enough.
going up.
Yeah, exactly. Made it cheap enough. 8-6.
That's a call.
I'm getting tired of you playing river over there.
That's a call.
That's funny because it's exactly what he's doing.
Well, I did have good hands to begin with.
Raise. Fold.
I just can't believe
Call.
that, dude. You played
Call.
river again.
Player folds.
Despite having the big blind.
You mean Doc Ock?
Call.
I really thought someone would, and normally they do, someone goes out by now, and it's okay to let someone else do all the work. But I realized no one's going to go, no one's been an idiot and rushing all in straight away.
Player checks. Check. Check. The turn. Bet.
Oh, here we go. I was a hand too early. She bet strong.
Are you willing to spend the money to save it hits on the
He's starting to hesitate, the one opposite the road, opposite.
Fold. Player folds.
I'm assuming you probably had a 10.
Call. That's a call. And the river.
7-10.
There's that flush.
Bet.
She bet twice strongly, so we know she has it. No smoke without fire.
No, I can't see it.
Fold.
So he folds.
Yeah.
Fold.
Two strong bets following each other. Normally it's a good sign that you have someone and she has trips.
Chips. Very good.
Sweet. Nice hand.
Again, the three of a kind.
Thanks.
Very glad to see I didn't get burned by those.
A7. I think I get into the game on this.
Raise it.
Third place because I haven't
Fold.
done anything. I've only lost 30 because of the big blind.
Call.
Look at at the
That's
bottom
a
of the
call.
table over here.
Call.
Yeah.
For you.
Call.
No, this is the first time I'm playing. I think he just checks because he hasn't seen me play before.
Player checks.
He's unsure of how I'm playing, so he... No, he bets.
Fold. Fold. Call. Fold. Fold. The turn.
So I got a pair of aces.
Check.
I check.
Check.
He checks back. I was lucky to get the flush.
Bets. Fold. You win.
I showed him my cards just to show that I wasn't bluffing. So now they think every time I bet, it's more likely because I'm telling the truth. Doesn't always work like that with me though, but
Call.
Jack 8, the duplex.
Call. Call. Fold.
One hand is enough though, that's all I needed.
Check.
Now I can sit out a few hands now because everyone else is doing the work for me.
Check. Check.
I would have had a pair off the board and possibly a straight, but
Bet. Player folds.
I mean, it makes sense to let the others do the work. I mean, the less people there are, the increase the odds for you.
Call. And the turn.
I mean, these two, the one on my right and him, are the strongest players on the table so far.
God damn it, I'm so mad at myself for folding.
Bet. Fold.
Dude, I'm getting.
9-8, possible straight, but I think I was suited.
Call.
This guy on the far left is almost out, the newbie.
Call. Fold. Call. Call. Raise.
The newbie doesn't care right now. Again, he's pre-raising. So he's hiding a mediocre hand.
Call. Call. Call.
Problem is, if you keep doing that, you're going to come up against someone that has a good hand, and then you're screwed.
The
But then
flop.
again, these are only $5 chips, so they're not that hard. 5 queen 2.
Bet. Fold. Fold. Player folds.
Everyone realizes they had nothing, so it was good that they felt old.
No one leaves fraternity
Call.
class.
The turn.
A possible straight on the board.
Check. Here's the river.
8 to 4.
Check. Check. Showdown. One pair.
Nice, nice.
Blinds increased.
3-5, absolutely rubbish hand.
Call.
So that huff and puff tells me she's getting frustrated.
Call.
Which would make someone impatient,
Check.
which potentially can make them call when they shouldn't.
Had to argue with a few
Check.
people. Don't mind me.
Check.
Hardly.
Check. Fold. Check. Check. Here's the turn. Check. Check. Player checks.
That tells you they have nothing because they checked.
Bet.
He checked first, so he knows to bet because he knows he has nothing. He's fishing.
That's a call.
Now, everyone
Fold.
calling after checking just tells you they're wasting the chips.
Fold. The river. Check.
You know, he's seeing what the others would do.
Check. Bet.
I was getting bored because this was getting predictable.
Fold. That's a call. Showdown. Straight.
You got lucky. Again,
I had it too. I just didn't want to risk it.
playing like that is really going to annoy people. He was just hoping for the river, and he got lucky. And the online games like this, they reward the stupidity.
Call. Call.
He should have lost, and would have lost if it wasn't for the river.
That's a call. Call. That's a call. Check.
So around about this point, I've watched them for so long that I now know what their habits are and what their patterns are,
Fold.
and it's starting to get predictable and boring.
Checks. Check. Player checks.
I think it's here that I think it's this hand that I like start to work on getting someone out.
Fold.
No, it's maybe the next hand.
Call. Fold. Here's the turn.
So there's a two pair aces. There's a lot of people that could have an ace or a jack.
Bet.
He bets. What do you think he has? What do you think he possibly could have that he would bet that much? You got two pair, jack, ace. He could have two jacks. He could have pocket jacks giving him trips. He could have an extra two giving him trips. Or he could have an ace, king ace. So if he bets like that, he's saying he's got something.
Call. The river. Check.
So when he checks like that, that tells you he's chasing. He hasn't got anything, so that's why he bets. And then, but of course, the person who checked just then could be lying,
Showdown.
and it was a split pot.
Two pair.
And they both had an ace. Their kickers were underneath 10, so that's why there wasn't any. Yeah, that annoys me. When people go in and randomly grab your shit like that, that's why I have the privacy bubble on. So I was kind of surprised that he was able to get that. That's very rude. You don't do that in poker. There is such a thing as poker etiquette. I mean, yeah, he gave it back, which I didn't mind so much. But it completely threw me off, so I folded. You want as little distractions as possible.
Come on. Come on. There
Raise.
you go.
So the newbie weighs, so that tells you he has something that he thinks is good.
Fold.
He's getting low on chips. He thinks so. He's gonna try and double up or collect the
Fold.
pot
Call.
or collect blinds.
The flop. The turn. The river. Showdown. One
I had the
pair.
high card. Damn, I should have played it. Oh well.
So he's out. One guy out.
Blinds going up.
Kind of annoyed that I lost my blind for nothing there. Jack 10 suited.
Call.
See, he's got the big stack already.
Call. That's a call.
So now one person's gone, that increases your odds. 1 in 6 instead of 1 in 7. Just, you gotta do whatever you can to ignore these people. Don't respond, because the more you respond, more you react, more you give.
Check. The flop. Check. 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 The turn. Player checks.
There's a pair on the board. Anyone could have a king.
Bet.
She folds, because he bets. I fold, because I only have Jack 10.
Under bet two kings on the table.
Fold.
I really didn't have anything to call with, and I'm not going to risk chasing the river. You end up losing most of your money that way.
Sorry. I had to keep those ones secret.
King Ace.
Player folds. Call.
Those are the two cards
Call.
that you have to go all in on, because you normally get something matched up with them.
Call. Check. Here's the flop. Check.
Now, this is where the kid on the left shows his naivety.
Check. Player bets.
I decided to see the turn because someone easily could have had the queen. Pair of kings beats a pair of queens, but it doesn't mean they don't have a queen in the hand. So I pretend to be thinking. I mean, I got high pairs, so
Raise.
it doesn't mean I'm gonna flake.
Here's the turn.
And now I got 2 pair again. So I called.
Player is all in. Player is all in.
I didn't get the card on the turn.
Right here, man.
The river.
He got it.
Showdown. 2 pair.
Even though he got the 5, I had the ace. Ace is above a 10, so I won the hand.
Got a new king on the table.
And then we're down to 5 players.
Call. Call.
He's getting low on chips.
Raise.
I was kind of looking to see how many chips that guy had because I was going to try and get the one on the end
That's a call.
to go all in. King Jack.
Call.
Why not? He's dying anyway.
Call. The flop.
Possible straight coming up. I have ace 10 king.
Player bets. Player is all in.
Now the correct thing for them to do is fold, but the guy is a newbie. He calls.
Look at it one more time. I'm playing for that straight, baby.
Player is all in.
But then again, that's what I was doing. But he should have called. There's no way for him to do that.
One card.
Player is all
Come
in.
on, Doc Ock, give me that one card.
And the turn.
She had a pair of queens, but kings beat queens.
And the river.
She get the queen. She would have had trips, but I got the straight. I got the highest straight.
Split pot. You win.
I'm alive, baby. Back in functioning.
So now we're down to 4. She was mad about that.
What happened when you play the river?
Call.
Oh, a chip? Can I buy her that?
Fold. Fold. Check. The flop.
Whoa,
Check.
whoa.
Bet.
$80 bet for a 3 of a kind could be on the table.
Player folds.
Which kind of tells you he doesn't have it. You bet strong to protect it we can.
Oh boy.
Fold. Fold.
Alright, be right back for 1 second. I just need a short break. Okay, so I just had to get some water. Alright.
Call. Raise.
Raise it up. Can't just live in.
Fold.
So now I'm chip leader.
If that guy don't make a move anytime, he's gonna be up before anyone.
See, he's worrying about other people when he should be worrying about himself.
That's
Queen 10.
call.
Here we go. Free flop. Here we go. What do you got? What do you got? What are you putting on the table?
Raise. Player is all in.
It's only 400, so like, yeah, go on.
That's a call.
I'll let the dogs battle it out right there.
Player folds. Call. The flop.
So I now have top pair. There's a 9 and a 6. So if he has 7 8 or 8 jack, he needs a 7.
Player bets.
So he bets. He's trying to get me off my hand.
That's a call.
I know he bets strong to protect weak hands. But then he goes ahead and he keeps betting. What threw me off is that he didn't hesitate.
Bet.
So I thought about this and folded. Because the only thing I had, even though it's top pair, is a pair of 10s. He could have had anything. He could have had pocket jacks. He could have pocket 10s. He could have any number of things. He could have had pocket 9s. He could have had the straight. There is nowhere at this point. There is no way to know what he had, and regardless of the result, if I betted, it would have been a really bad call to make because I could have easily lost this hand.
The river. Showdown. One pair.
I would have won this hand because I would have had top pair. Even though he had the king,
Thank you.
We all know who's gonna win this game, man. Kel, you and I would team up on him.
Call. Fold. Check. The flop.
Oh shit.
Check.
I told the woman shit, not check.
Check.
But okay.
The turn.
he's getting nervous now.
Check.
That newbie guy. But at least he's in the money.
Call. Here's the river. Check. Check. Showdown. Two pair.
Wow. Again with the river on you.
Yeah, river to 2.
You beat me by river.
Again, this is why I don't trust what he said about being a newbie to sit and go.
Player is all in.
I'll do it. I got pocket. Well, I'll do it 'cause I got pocket with mine.
I know he talks a lot of shit.
All in.
He already went on. He knows I got pocket. But what pocket do I have?
He has a low pocket.
I'll let you guys fight this one out, I guess.
Yeah, that's smart.
Either him or I is coming out on top.
Here's the flop.
5, 9, 10.
The
so
turn.
And I beat him.
The river.
Yeah, pocket fives.
Goodbye, you all.
Showdown. You win.
Woo! Good luck, my brother. Win it for me. Good luck.
He's gonna need it.
Uh-huh. I'm gonna need it, sure.
Came in third.
Now it, because it's now heads up, the game changes. You have to be aggressive with your betting and calling. And if you paid attention to how the person's played throughout the sit and go, at this point the game is already won. I know he bets large,
Good job.
he bets high to protect weaker hands.
Fold.
Keep my head down so he doesn't see what I'm doing. So 9-2, crap hand. That's a really bad hand, so I fold. Queen ace, which is a good hand.
Raise.
Good pair to go in. He folds because he doesn't want to risk it.
You win. Blinds are up.
That is a weak hand to start in, but he doesn't know that. Bet strong. I'm just playing his own game against him. Bet strong. And you keep doing it, and you slowly notch down his lead. If he were to call me back, I know he thinks he has a good hand, and if he keeps doing it, I would fold. So he called. Don't let him get the advantage.
Player bets. Player folds.
See, I'm getting him to fold. Four, 6. Call.
Call. Check.
If I had a strong hand, I would bet or a weak hand.
Check. Bet.
I had nothing. 4, 6.
You win.
I keep my hand and everything emotionless so he cannot see or tell what I'm doing. 7 ace. It's not a bad pair.
Call.
Check.
Flop. Bet.
I have nothing at all.
You win.
But it's a lot of money to risk going in on a hunch. So if I think I have a good hand that's going to beat him, I call, hoping he bets, and I rebet him so I get more money. I'm up to 5,000.
Raise it up. Call. The flop.
So I know my hand beats his. So he bets. He bets to protect a weaker hand.
Raise it. Call. Turn. Check. Player checks. And the river.
So I have 2 pair.
Check.
I know he thinks he has a strong hand, so I get him off his. He has Jack 6. But because I bet strong like he does, he folds.
Fold.
So I'm showing the bluff.
Yeah, I mean, I had sixes.
His stack is going down. No, that's a strong bet.
Call. The flop. Player checks. Bet.
He took the initiative there, so I gotta get it back. Turn ace, not a bad hand. All in.
Player is all
To
in.
get the initiative back, just go all in. He folds,
Fold.
and now I'm back on the attack. He's on the defensive.
You win.
King Queen, not a bad hand.
Call. Check. The flop. Check. Bet. Call. The turn. Bet. That's a call. The river. Bet. Raise. That's a call. Showdown.
I was lucky on that one.
Pair. You win.
I had nothing, but I just had a high card.
Going up. Call. Player
If he had run that hand, he would have had the initiative.
check. Check. The turn. Bet. Fold.
He really doesn't stand a chance. I started at 3,000, I'm now up to 7,000.
Raise.
He's getting fed up.
Player is all in.
So I pushed all in. He's more likely to make a mistake when he's all emotional like that.
Player is all in. Here's the flop.
And there we go.
The river. Showdown. Two pair.
Cowboys win the game for me. And that's how you win sitting goals. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna win or come into the top 3, you just gotta pay attention, be patient at the start, don't do anything stupid, and it's game over. It's really that simple. Alright guys, so I hope this is of help to you, and I will see you next time.